Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Police dispute high-speed chase allegations in Clarendon crash. Missing British Jamaican found dead. And later in sports, Reggae Girls defeat South Africa in second friendly international. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamila Pula and here are the details. The police are disputing claims that a high-speed chase was involved in Monday's fatal crash on the Bustamante Highway in Clarendon. The incident claimed the lives of 2 students while 2 others remain hospitalized, with one in critical condition. Karen Simpson tells us more.
Since the fatal crash on Monday, which claimed the lives of 2 students from Lennon High School, concerns have been raised about the alleged high-speed chase which led to the incident. Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie, clarified that a joint team briefly attempted to pursue the vehicle in Maypen Town Centre but quickly abandoned the effort.
The police or transport authority or the police and transport authority are out there within an area and someone is given direction to stop, it is expected that that should be the case. And that is where we need to start. If there is a suspicion of any illegality, the police force have a responsibility to treat with it. Having said that, based on what we have done today, we recognize the indiscriminate behavior of some of the persons that we have to deal with. And I believe that a high level of responsibility was shown.
ACP McKenzie says he will not provide any further details on the incident as it is still under investigation.
I will not get into the intricacies of the investigation at this point. An investigation includes the gathering of evidence from the scene, from persons, both from the vehicles and without. And so that investigation is continuing. The driver actually fled the scene, he was held, and we will ensure that the matter is properly investigated.
Meanwhile, ACP McKenzie is calling on road users to adhere to the country's road codes.
What we want is that we want law and order, and we want cooperation, and we want conforming with the rule of law. That is what is very important. We have started the December month very poorly, where we have some 6 deaths so far, and we really want to seek to reduce it. We only can reduce it when we have highly responsible drivers and other road users.
Karen Simpson, TVJ News.
President of TODS, Egerton Newman, is encouraging young people to start learning to drive at an early age. Speaking at a primary school in St. Thomas recently, Mr. Newman highlighted the importance of getting driving skills at a young age.
You leave school at age 17, you leave school with a license. And that is what something the government is pushing, and we're also pushing to start teaching driving. And if you have a brother, father, who have a taxi, it's important that we do a course, in defensive driving, as Mr. Brown said.
He stressed learning to drive early can be beneficial. It's equally important to also drive with responsibility.
Drinking and driving is a serious problem with our people, and especially, I won't say with Kirkbride members, but especially with transport operators, especially our bus operators. And I urge them from where I stand here now, for heaven's sake, don't drink before you drive.
A British Jamaican woman who went missing a few weeks ago has been found dead. She is 64-year-old Dawn Anderson. According to reports, Mrs. Anderson went missing after arriving in Jamaica for vacation last month. Her body was discovered in a shallow grave in Petersfield, Westmoreland. Police are now searching for her 37-year-old husband, Andre Morrison, who was last seen with her. Meanwhile, the sister of Dawn Anderson, May Sinanan, told TVJ News a short while ago that she's still in shock and disbelief.
At this moment, reality hasn't really set in as yet. I have not processing what has been happening. But hopefully when I see the body, I then maybe, I don't know, I'd be different, feeling different. But at this moment, I don't know what to think. Until I see the body, that's when I will know that, yes, this is my sister.
She says the entire family is devastated by the loss.
My mother, father, who is in their 80s, they're shattered. And brothers and sisters in the UK, nieces, nephews, everyone is shattered. Can't believe this would happen to a mother, a sister, grandmother who is so kind and caring.
The National Works Agency is promising increased road repairs to begin before the end of the month. The issue of road repairs remains a long-standing issue as recent heavy rains have made the road network worse. Raquel Porter reports.
In recent times, there have been numerous complaints about potholes and poor road conditions. This has resulted in damage to vehicles and persons being hurt. But Communication Officer at the National Works Agency, Natalie Bloomfield, assures that more repair work will commence by the end of this week. Ms. Bloomfield was speaking on Power 106 Morning Agenda Tuesday.
So that is a $3 billion program that is currently underway. We had some impact from the rainfall to material, to the works already done and so on. So we have now rescheduled these works to resume December 6th, which is this Friday. So persons are going to see the work teams out in earnest getting these roads done so that persons can have a better or improved surfaces for the Christmas season, going into the Christmas season.
She says other initiatives planned by the government is also going as planned, and so Jamaicans will also see those bearing fruit soon.
The shared prosperity through accelerated improvement to our road network, that is a SPARK program. So that is a $45 billion infrastructure improvement initiative. The implementation phase is expected to commence within this fiscal year. However, the preparatory phases of the project has already been underway. So basically this project is aimed to improve mainly main roads and parochial roads and water across the island. So priority will be given to areas that have high traffic volumes or economic importance or safety concerns.
She further explains that the implementation and construction phases of the SPARK program will be done in two parts, and those are also on track.
You're going to have Part A, which would focus on municipal roads, which are the roads normally the responsibility of the local municipal corporation. So one section of that program is going to deal with those roads, and then Part B is going to focus on NWA main roads. So the construction phase, once the project gets underway, is going to be approximately 2 years with an 1 year defects liability period afterwards.
Raquel Porto, TVJ News.
Thank you, Raquel. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Smith, is calling for greater emphasis to be placed on the economics of education.
There is no version of a successful, economically viable or sustainable Jamaica that does not have education as the vanguard leading that charge for development. But yet many times we struggle to get politicians to understand that. The time of muscle is over. The greatest resource any country holds is human mind. And so we must invest in it. And you cannot invest in the education system without investing in our teachers.
Dr. Smith says in order for real progress to be made in the education sector, politics must be put aside.
And I find sometimes as Jamaicans, we break up along party lines. And when we call upon certain actions, now I tell you, I'm no P. I'm a Jamaican first and foremost. Yeah? I'll vote anyway, depending on who has the best policy. And the reality is this: I've seen many times my teachers voting only along party lines, sometimes even against their own best interest. We must step away from the orthodoxies of the past and embrace the type of action that leads to the change that we so desire in this era.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the upgrades at primary health facilities are designed to promote greater sustainability while also encouraging individuals to be more environmentally conscious. Speaking in St. Mary recently, Dr. Tufton says that the changing environment is significantly impacting the way buildings are constructed, and it's essential to adapt to these changes.
So the biggest example here is the seawall. Your MP worked with NWA and you have moved the water back. It can be moved back with certain types of technologies and work. And you have seen the evidence of that. But hurricanes, we have had a few tropical weather systems. So how the roof is set up, water catchment system and storage, because water is life.
Dr. Tufton says many healthcare professionals continue to face challenging and unacceptable working environments with little sign of improvement, but this must be addressed.
A fan is not good enough in the waiting areas. Put an air conditioning machine in there, unit in there. People must wait with a certain level of comfort. And we have been doing that. We have been installing air conditioning unit where the fan is not working well. So depending on where you are. I have given instructions that doctors' appointment rooms, examination rooms must be comfortable for the doctor, a decent chair, that all these facilities must have a little area where people can go and have their lunch.
State Minister in the Labour Ministry, Dr. Norman Dunn, is underscoring the crucial role of collaboration in driving sustainable economic growth and addressing climate change. Dr. Dunn was speaking at a Just Transition launch in St. Anne recently.
We're calling on employers to recognize their critical role in creating workplace that meets evolving needs of our Jamaican workforce. Flexible work arrangements, fair compensation, and adherence to occupational safety and health standards are not just optional, but essential.
Dr. Dunn stressed the need for a collective effort to prepare Jamaica's workforce for future challenges and to build resilience.
We're also laying the groundwork for the future by aligning our efforts with Jamaica's National Determined Contributions, NDCs, for climate action. This alignment means that by 2026, our policies will not only meet global standards, but also reflects the unique needs and aspirations of every Jamaican. Let me say clearly, this government is not working just for today. We're thinking about tomorrow and the generations that follows.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Eligible individuals now have until December 13 to submit their application under the government's reverse income tax credit scheme. Applications were scheduled to close off on December 2, but Tax Administration Jamaica yesterday announced an extension. TAJ also adjusted the eligibility period for the filing of returns from August 31 to December 15, 2024, now allowing additional employees who earned below $3 million in 2023 to benefit from the one-time payment of $20,000. Further afield, Elon Musk's record-breaking pay package for serving as Tesla's CEO was rejected on Monday by Delaware court again. The payout package, now worth $56 billion, is made up of more than 300 million Tesla stock options. It had been previously thrown out by the same judge in January, but in June it was approved by Tesla shareholders. In Monday's motion, the judge criticized Tesla's board for being too close to Musk. The judge noted that even Musk admitted that he only negotiated against himself when it came to his own compensation. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, 26 Haitian nationals, including children, were hospitalized after consuming contaminated fruit juice on a farm in Pedernales. Now, Director of the Taiwan Regional Hospital, Luis Edward Perez, says the patients exhibited symptoms of organophosphate poisoning, such as nausea, vomiting, excessive salivation, and muscle contractions. Now, due to prompt medical care, all patients are stable and under observation, with plans for their release within 24 hours. Authorities are investigating the source of the contamination, but the method of preparation remains unknown. On the international scene, speaking at the NATO headquarters in Brussels on Tuesday, Secretary General Mark Rutte stated that Vladimir Putin is not interested in peace amid Russia's ongoing war with Ukraine. Now, Rutte emphasized that Russia's aggression continues unabated, with Putin escalating rhetoric and actions, including using Ukraine to test experimental missiles and deploying North Korean soldiers. He stressed that Putin aims to break Ukraine's resolve and that of NATO, but Ukraine has a right to defend itself and NATO has a duty to support them. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Shane Masters.
We take another break. Sports is next.